And we're back for another analysis and player ratings. Arsenal destroyed Atletico Madrid 4-0. That was last night. And I'm live to discuss it in more detail, to talk about the 11s, which you can see here. Talk about what Arsenal did well in this game, what they didn't. I think there was a particular tactical tweak, which I think was a big part of why Arsenal won this game. I think a big part of why Arsenal were able to dominate Atletico Madrid was really taking control of that midfield in a way that is a step back to previous few seasons, as opposed to the leap forward that we taken in terms of the movement of our midfield, the movement and use of, our left back and our left winger. And Arteta made two changes going into this game. Miles Lewis-Skelly and Gabriel Martinelli came in for Trossard and Calafiori. I don't think Arteta looked at that change as sort of two individual changes he made to the team. I think he looked at it as one big change that he was making to get a particular dynamic into the team, and everyone knew exactly how to move the operation around a little bit to ensure they were maximizing the players they had on the pitch in a different way. So we're going to go through that. It's the usual player ratings. Apologies, it's a little later than I normally want to do it, but as you can see, I'm still at my sort of backup set, not the usual one. That's because we're making some changes and I've had a lot going on, so apologies that we're not streaming this from the usual set, but we're still able to, like I said, discuss this in a bit of detail. We're also working on doing this better. I know in the previous shows we've had the tactical pad. There's been some technical issues with that, so might need to find a little bit of an alternative, another way to do that. But as you saw from the early shows we did, that is the idea, that we want to be able to re-talk tactics in good detail, and we will be able to do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring you other things like, and it's so typical that now I can't find it, so other bits of analysis that I could bring in the time that I'm live, and other bits of data. So we will do that all on this show. Also, a little spoiler, if you're tuning into this, okay, I'm going to show you something for the new set that arrived. I have to shout out my amazing girlfriend who got this for me for my birthday. But look what's coming. Oh, you can see the reflection as well. But anyway, look, how cool is that? Shout out to her, amazing gift. Should I spoil it? Hold on. Yeah, spoil it a little bit more. There we go. It lights up. Can I make this brighter? Well, it's just going more orange on your screen, but it's getting brighter to me. So there we go. That's all to come. Yeah, shout out to her. Amazing birthday present. And I look forward to getting that all on the new set. So yeah, big old Goonerverse logo, everyone. Which is great. I'm really excited for the new set and everything to come. A big thanks to everybody who is tuning in. Thank you so much. Why does StreamYard do this? Like, it always messes around. I like that. That's this setup I like. Cool. It's cool, right? Like, it's a really great gift. Yeah, appreciate it a lot, guys. I really, really appreciate you all tuning in. Someone clocked as well. Yeah, Gooner, you've done a Turkish here. It was meant to be at 4 o'clock, so I know. I'm really sorry. I yeah, I needed that extra half hour. Anyway, we're here. Been live for 3-4 minutes. Let's do it. Let's go into everything. Like I said, we want to talk tactics. Who designed that logo? So, Mark, I came up with the concept. I thought Goonerverse. So we're looking at kind of planets in space. Hence the theme, right? So if I just remove. See the space theme. That's kind of carrying through everything we do. And I came up with using the wheel and having the kind of space thing around. And I did some sort of very average design. And then I passed it on to Max, who just made it incredible. And then just everything on this channel, through its theme, to its style, to its colors, to everything is all, and its editing is all Max. So shout out to Max. He is a genius. So yeah, all right. Away from all that, we can go into the main part of the show now. James looks 25 with the cap and 40 without. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'm 30, so I'll take that. Okay. And thank you, Mark. Appreciate that a lot. Right, back to it. Now, we know how this works, people. We're going to do our player ratings, but like I said, I want to do a little bit of analysis in particular. The changes that were made were Martinelli coming in and Lewis-Skelly. We're going to talk about the importance of that in a little bit. Before we get to them, I think it's important that we do some player ratings, and I think we can fly through a few of these. I'm going to give David Raya a 7. Didn't really have a save to make, but the one he did was a really good save on who was it? It was Conor Gallagher who had the shot late in the game. The game was pretty much won by then, but still, you want the clean sheets. You want everything to stay nice and comfortable. 3 clean sheets in 3 games against who was it? Well, against everyone in the Champions League so far. So that's Olympiacos. When you think about it, Athletic Bilbao away, Olympiacos at home, Atletico Madrid at home. It's actually not been that easy a start. So Arsenal done a really good job. He obviously tried to dribble the ball down the line and made a bit of an error, but otherwise his passing was good. I'll give him a 7. I know he had that one moment, but I'm fine with it. He got it wrong, and they probably should have scored. But other than that, I thought he was good. So I'll give him a 7. We go to Jurriën Timber. Give him a 9. What do you guys think? Let me know your ratings. As I've always said with these, I want you to send your ratings in. For me, Jurriën Timber was sensational again. I know he put a really good cross into the box. I think Martin should have scored from. Defensively was sensational. I just think he's a really, really, really brilliant footballer, and he's getting better in the final third. There were 1 or 2 misplaced passes, but generally he's doing a really good job. A lot of 8s coming in though, so maybe I might have to change my mind. And we do always review these once we see all the players on the pitch. But there is a 9 there. There's a 9, 8.5. Peter, I really, really appreciate the kind words. Thank you so, so much. All right. I'll go to an 8 because you all seem to unanimously agree on an 8. So I'll go with that. Saliba. I think this is going to be when I make my first tweak. I'm going to give Saliba a 7, but therefore give Raya a 6. I think Saliba was better than Raya. Yeah, I think Saliba was better than Raya, but nothing like exceptional. So I'm happy to give Saliba a 7. What are you all saying? Loss of 8s for Saliba. Wow. Really? Did I see this wrong? No, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, lots of 7, 7.5. Okay. So we can stick with that. I'm glad you all agree. Gabriel, it's a 9, isn't it? A clean sheet. Actually. Oh, not a 1. Can we please get this right? There we go. I'm doing it. This is the first 10 I've ever handed out on the channel for Gabriel, and I think I'm going to stick with it. That was a flawless performance from Gabriel. Sensational defensively. Clean sheet for the team. A massive monster goal to put us 1-0 up. And then an assist as well for Gyökeres. It's a 10. People, what did he do wrong? Defensively faultless and offered heavily offensively. I totally agree. 10 is brazy, but I get it. I think it has to be. I just think he was. I think where I struggle is, was he a 10 and Gabriel a 7? Like, that feels harsh. Sorry, was Gabriel a 10 and Saliba a 7? That feels like maybe too big a gap. Do we bump Saliba up? But then I think Timber was better than Saliba. Yeah, you're saying the right things, TJ Delaney. Saliba 7 is harsh then. Okay. I'll go 8. I'll go 8, and Raya can stay with the 6. Cool. And I agree with you. We didn't notice Saliba as much, but that's sometimes a good thing. All right, there we go. Cool. I'm happy with that. I think 6, 8, 8, 10, and then we get into the main bit of analysis I wanted to do. So like I said, the changes were Lewis Skelly coming into the team and Martinelli. Now, had this been Trossard, I think we'd have seen him in this pocket, and had this been Calafiori, we'd have seen him going forward. So we know that Arsenal's shape can look a lot like this. Right? We know that Arsenal's kind of, these are kind of the areas that people are picking up spaces in. The genius move with this in particular was to get Lewis Skelly in central spaces so that we were dominating central midfield. And it gave Rice a lot of flexibility in where he picked up the ball. It gave Lewis Skelly a lot of flexibility in where he picked up the ball. And it gave Martinelli space to attack Atletico Madrid. Now, there's a bit of data I want to go into, but I want to get it right exactly how we do this. So let's, I guess, first start with sharing this. This is SofaScore. You got the Arsenal 11. You can see Saliba and Gabriel, Timber getting forward. You can see Lewis Skelly on a line with Declan Rice and Zubimendi, but that's a little bit misleading because when you actually click on him, you can see that he was getting into that high left 8 position quite a few times. He was much more advanced than Declan Rice, who was basically everywhere, all over the pitch, as you can see. But Lewis Skelly, much more in the left 8 position, not that wide because when you click on Martinelli, that is wide. Martinelli was a lot wider. And I think the reason they did this, Arsenal, was to try and dominate in central midfield around here and get around the Atletico Madrid players. Because Atletico Madrid played in a 4-4-2 and they were really sucked into central spaces. And in that area of the pitch where they'd want to be congested, I think they struggled. And what it meant was the fullback, Llorente, kept having to be dragged out to Martinelli. And Hanko as well couldn't necessarily get across either because that midfield's been tucked in, but we're going to dominate it anyway. Also not the quickest, almost physical. Koke and Barrios are not two players that, they're not Declan Rice, are they? And so we were able to really kind of dominate and run all over this team. Now, let me show you some more stuff that I want to get into and show you how this worked in theory. Here's Lewis Skelly. This is where he picks up the ball for the second goal. But you can see that Declan Rice has pulled wide here. And I think the important thing about this is Arsenal were dominating where you can see Zubimendi is dropped further back. Declan Rice has come all the way to the left channel in a left back space. And Eze's right in the 10, not in the right 8. So what they've done is completely pulled apart, or at least tried to pull apart, that Atletico midfield, where they're going, well, hold on. We want to step back onto the 10. We want to press the 6 because remember, Zubimendi's just laid the ball off to Lewis Skelly. But we also need to keep an eye on their biggest driving threat in terms of his kind of raw power and Declan Rice. And in that time, our left back has come all the way into central midfield to get the ball. And you can see that they are sort of quite congested. But I think they really struggle to know exactly what to do about it. I don't think they really had the answers. Lewis Skelly gets the ball and carries, and he's such a brilliant driving presence with the ball at his feet. So let's just show you one more time. We go to this again. Here we go. So whilst Lewis Skelly was picking up the ball and getting into these areas a few times, we showed that with the average positions map, there were just moments that we saw that goal where Rice would go here and Zubimendi could get the ball and he could drive. So Arsenal were congesting the midfield with all these players here. Rice, Eze, Zubimendi, Lewis Skelly, and Martinelli's thinking, brilliant. And Saka, put me one-on-one with the fullbacks because we'll kill him. Because they were fullbacks who really, really struggled on the day. It then led to this. So here we got FB Ref, gives you some stats across the season. It also gives you some stats through the game. And it freed up Martinelli to, of course, get the goal that we saw. But here, shot-creating actions, as you can read, 2 offensive actions directly leading to a shot, such as pass, take-ons, and drawing fouls. Gabriel Martinelli had the most in the game with 6. We then go to carries. Where is he? Okay, he's far lower down, but still 21 carries. All right, not as high as I thought. An attempted take-ons at 5, only 1 behind Bukayo Saka. So Arsenal got Lewis Skelly as opposed to going for Trossard in central. Because let's think about this another way. If Trossard's starting on the left and Calafiori overlapping, you're dragging the fullback inside, and what you're doing is you're tightening the back 4, which is okay. But then the right winger might just kind of follow our left back and therefore make it a 5-3-2 or whatever. It just feels a little bit more natural for the fullback to tuck in and the Atletico Madrid winger to go all the way back. What we were doing was trying to make them want to congest central midfield, which they wanted to, their 4-man midfield, dragging them inside to a point of kind of confusion, actually, because Declan Rice was then pulling out, but they didn't want to lose their shape. And Martinelli is going, great, put me one-on-one with the fullback. Llorente, I know playing right back has been, but he's a central midfielder by nature. And I just think Arsenal did a really good job of manipulating Atletico's shape to get those one-on-one moments happening, especially in the first half. When you look at the passes that Eze was playing in behind to Saka and how many times we did combine on that right-hand side, they didn't know what to do because centre-back and full-back were being really spaced apart by Arsenal's movement and positioning and really crisp passing and quickness of their passing. So I think Arsenal did a really, really brilliant job to just make a small tweak. And like I said at the beginning of the video, it's going back to what we did 2 years ago, where we were inverting the fullback loads, especially 22, 23 at times last season. But it didn't really work. But this time Arsenal did it as a bit of an air of surprise because we hadn't done it for a little while. And Lewis Skelly and Martinelli getting the call up was definitely a little bit of a shock. But it had to be the two together because you don't want Trossard hugging the touchline like that. You don't want, which I know he does sometimes. And I guess you could have Calafiori inverting and driving through the centre of the pitch. But I just think you saw the way Lewis Skelly got that ball and the way he moved and the way he threaded it to Martinelli. There was a midfielder-esque movement to the way he did it. So well done to him. Let's go back to this then. So when all is said and done, what do we give Miles Lewis Skelly? You know what? I'm going to leave Arsenal as we do this in this shape. But I will also say it wasn't so much this as it was really this. You know, I felt like Arsenal were a little bit more 2-3-4-1 or 2-3-5. And they rotate all the time. But there's no doubt that Timber's getting higher up the pitch a lot more. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Lewis Skelly, it's a 9 for me. Brilliant run into the box. And also because he's done that off the back of, coming back in from the cold. He's barely played for Arsenal, but he's come in and given that performance and reminded everyone what he's capable of. So good for him. Okay, let's go back to some of your comments. I see the super chats. Thank you so much. We'll get to them soon. People are giving 9s for MLS, a 7.5 there. An 8. He looks shaky in defense. Slightly shaky first half, to be honest. I thought we did some nice things in the first half, Could have had a red. Really? Thought Skelly was a 9. 8 for Lewis Skelly. Switched off 1 or 2 times and then cut off the passing. That's true. Yeah, that was, there was a moment, wasn't there, where they picked us off with a lovely pass in between centre-back and full-back. I tweeted, hey, Forder, how you doing, mate? I tweeted about the left side prior to kickoff and how it'd help us to control the midfield and attack wide space when Atleti would be in a back 3. Yeah. Atleti... No, I agree. Sorry, I was getting confused for a second there. Yeah, we are. We're going to talk about that when we talk about Declan Rice. The pairing of Lewis Skelly and Nelly on the left is perfect. Yep, and I definitely think that Madueke is going to benefit from playing with him too. Remember Calafiori's disallowed goal against Fulham came from Calafiori inverting and Trossard wide playing in the ball. It's not as simple as MLS inverts Calafiori outlaps. Both can do both. There's no question that both can do both. Calafiori is a very good carrier of the ball. But I think it's about a dynamic suiting the other, right? Calafiori can invert, Timber can hug the touchline. Martinelli's best moments in an Arsenal shirt have come on the inside, actually, as more inside forwards. And Lewis Skelly at times was wider, trying to put the ball into the box. I mean, he had that shot that Eze threaded a lovely ball into Miles, and he just had that shot. Do you remember around this area of the box here? And he dragged it wide. So dead serious, you're absolutely right. It's never as simple as that. But I think there's almost like a base expectation going into the games. Okay, we will do the Arteta thing of 45 different formations or whatever it is. But as a principle, we know that when it's Lewis Skelly and Martinelli, Martin's going to be much more on the touchline and Lewis Skelly is going to be much more central and inverted. When it's Calafiori and Trossard, there's going to be a little bit more alternating in the way they're used. Now, I do think that Martinelli, while his one-on-one dribbling hasn't actually even really been much better than Trossard, I think his pace is just a natural threat. At times we went long to him to sort of hit the space because we knew that he would stretch a back four. Sometimes space is created because the opposition just know about the pace that they've got to deal with in the team. And like I showed you with that goal, Lewis Skelly picks up the ball there. And Calafiori, we've seen he's got a driving run in him. Cool. But Lewis Skelly, I think, is, as a natural central midfielder, is going to do that side of the game more comfortably than Calafiori. And I think Calafiori can have a lot of joy underlapping here or overlapping here. But in picking up the ball here and then when pressured, getting away, Cala's a very good player. it always sounds like when you're praising one, you're criticizing the other. Almost every player in this squad can do a little bit of everything. They all can. But generally, I see what we saw last night in terms of the dynamics as particular strengths of Lewis Skelly and Martinelli. Though Trossard and Calafiori can do it, I don't think it's like exactly what you have them in the team for, because they have a slightly different dynamic. I hope that makes sense. Okay, cool. I've got some super chats, so we will get to all that in a second. Yeah, no, Zachary, I remember this, and I was thinking about this. Calafiori's assist at the Euros was sensational. Absolutely. How many times have we seen that driving run in an Arsenal shirt? I'd argue we've seen it a lot more from Lewis Skelly, but I, I hear what you're saying. Yes, I like this way of putting it. I think there's some truth to this. Calafiori drives into space, but Lewis Skelly drives past players. That's quite a good way to put it. Cool. Okay, let's get back to it. Zubimendi. I'm going to give him a 9. I thought this was Zubimendi's best game in an Arsenal shirt. I thought he was sensational. But I see, I nearly gave him a 10. I nearly gave him a 10. I thought he was absolutely superb. But like, does he get the same rating as Gabriel, who got a clean sheet? And of course, Mendy's a part of that clean sheet, but a goal and an assist. I think 10s have to be saved for like, you've had an amazing game, but you put up numbers with it. Now, to be fair, Zubimendi deserves an assist. What a flick to Gyökeres. And I just thought everything he did in the game, the way he won the ball back in midfield, Zubimendi was outrageous. I know what you mean, Quadri. Could easily have been man of the match. But I think it's got to be Gabriel because of those two match-winning moments. And as I've said in previous streams, I don't want to downplay those key moments as just like, oh, you got a goal, but you were a 7. Come on, you have those moments. And then you gotta be given real credit for it. I think he was sensational. I'm so tempted by a 10, Like, for what he is, a 6, could he have actually done anything more? Do you know what? I'm doing it, 10. Because he plays the lovely ball over the top to Martinelli. And I think he had a real part to play in some of our best attacking football. I'm going to do it. Second 10 of the day. I'm going to do it. Our second 10 ever on this channel. I thought Zubimendi was absolutely sensational, and Gabriel too. I'll go with it. Declan Rice, therefore a 9. I thought he was brilliant. What an unbelievable again, but then like he puts the 2 crosses into the box. Okay. This is so difficult. I can't hand out 3 10s. Can I? Oh my god, Gyökeres got 2 goals as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you're all saying 9s. I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go with a 9 for Rice. Zubimendi was just a touch better. But Declan Rice's deliveries are a joke, people. Should we see their numbers? Come on, let's do this. Let's get some help. So, these are the stats from the game. Big up to SofaScore. Okay. Interesting. SofaScore had Zubi as a 7.7, Rice as 7.9. Zubimendi, as you can see from his data, 89% of his passes found an Arsenal player, 83% in the opposition half, 24 out of 29 attempted, completing every single pass in the in his own half. That was passing. What, dribbling? Do we have anything there? Running. Wow, tells you how much. Covered 8.3 kilometers. 6 sprints on the day. Walking plus jogging. Interesting. Okay, I've never seen these before, but good to know they have it. Declan Rice. See how much he covered? 10.9 kilometers he covered on the day. I wonder what the average footballer... What the average kilometers a footballer runs. Let's see. Between 9 and 10. So there you go. Well done, Declan. Should we see his passing stats? 22 out of 22 in his own half as well. Wow. Passing the opposition half. Wow. 25 out of 28 with 45 out of 46 passes accurate. How does that work? Accurate passes 45 out of 46, but that's 25 out of 28. Not sure I quite get that. 6 out of 6. Do you know what then? Okay. I'm gonna be a flip-flop. This is the hardest it's ever been. Can you send me your Zubimendi and Rice scores and we can change? We're going to look at this all in a sec anyway. Let's do the final players. Martinelli, 9, gets an assist and a goal. Thought he was brilliant. Really, really good. That's not just because the assist of the goal. I thought he was really, really good. Saka gets... He was terrorizing them first half, wasn't he? But the output wasn't quite there. Is an 8? Yeah, I'm going to go with an 8. Is that harsh on Saka? Gyökeres, I'll go 9. Eze, I'll go 8. Let's look at those together. 9.5 and 9, 9 and 9, 9 and 9. Zubi 8, Rice 9, both 9s. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll tell you what, Zubi, I'm going to deny you that 10. I'm so sorry, mate, but I thought you were absolutely terrific. I feel quite comfortable with this, so let's get everyone back into position then, and we can look at it properly. Obviously, we'll do the subs and the manager in just a sec. But if that's your back four, Zubimendi and Rice, Eze in the 10, Martinelli, Saka, Gyökeres. Gyökeres well done on the goals. And by the way, I just thought his hold-up play and all-round game I thought was really, really good. I thought he had a really, really good game. We talked about him in good detail recently, so I won't sort of talk about too much why. I thought he was brilliant, but a lot of the stuff I was praising for Fulham, I thought really came off in this game. I'm really comfortable with those, actually. Nothing I'd change. I mean, Saliba was still very good, but Gabriel and Lewis Skelly had really kind of key moments. Mendy and Rice was sensational. I thought Eze did some lovely stuff with passing behind to Saka. I think he could have had an assist for Saka and for Lewis Skelly, but I also thought he was sort of in and out of the game at times. Martinelli with a goal and assist and Gyökeres with 2 goals. I think Gabriel gets the 10 because of the clean sheet as well as getting the opening goal, massive assist. But it was just a huge performance from him, so I'm quite happy with that. I agree with this forward. Gyökeres pinning the centre backs, allowing quick pass from Timber and Eze to Saka was brilliant. Yeah, he's a problem, Gyökeres. He's absolutely helping the team. I've got no doubt about it. Some people saying 7s for Eze. I think that's a little harsh, if I'm honest. I think he was better than that. I think there were some really, really neat passes, and I think he looked like a real natural 10. So I'm happy with the 8. Obviously, off the bench, we had. Let's have a little look. I can't quite remember who it was. Let's share this. Should look at the stats, by 17 shots, only 1 on target for Atletico Madrid. Unbelievable. So off the bench, Mosquera, yeah, didn't really notice him. 7. Ben White, 6. Norgard, 6. But do you know, I genuinely give them all 6s or 7s. I think they're all fine. Arteta, I give a 10. You've just destroyed Simeone. 4-0 at the Emirates. It's 3 out of 3 in the Champions League. It's another clean sheet. I thought, the decision to bring Gabriel off, to bring Martinelli and Lewis Skelly in was brilliant. So fair play. It's a 10 for Mikel Arteta. A minute left. Let's go through the super chats. Big thank you to all. Ritesh says, Ritesh Mystery says, got to give a super chat. Oh, thank you to support your growth, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Love seeing you on TalkSport and seeing the channel get bigger. Exciting times. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. We are super close to 60k. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the Goonerverse, people. Look what's coming. Look what we're building. And sorry, so silly, wasn't it? And yeah, thank you. I had a blast on Talksport. It was really fun. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat. So, by the way, just clocked, it's a very generous super chat. So thank you so, so much. Prathamesh says, is it us getting used to Saliba's performances? Do you think he could be doing more? I feel like he's a better passer than he's been showing recently. I think it's us getting used to him and him cruising, and that's not a bad thing. I think to agree with getting used to him, but also our shape's so good. He's not had to stand up to the like one-to-one solo defending he can be brilliant at, because I think as a shape we defend so well as well. Congrats and well done on Talksport. Big up. Thank you so much, Cam. I really appreciate it. Guys, I can't thank you all enough for tuning in and for your and for all your support. I really do appreciate it. We're going to round it off there. I will be back with a video tomorrow. Hey, Matisse, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everyone go subscribe to Matisse, doing fantastic Chelsea and football content. And I really enjoyed his match reaction. That thumbnail killed me, Matisse, for his reaction to Arsenal beating Atleti. So you all know Matisse. So go have a little look. But yeah, there we go, people. Big thanks for tuning in. Super appreciate it. Those are my Arsenal player ratings. Let me know yours in the comment section below if you're watching this later. And yeah, like I said, I'll be back with the video tomorrow. All right, we'll leave you there. Big thanks. Catch you in a bit.